Okay, so let me tell you a bit about what excites me about NoRCEL. Can you switch off your microphone somewhere?
Yeah.
And really allow me to get personal on this. I've been supporting Sohan on this effort for quite a while, and I now feel quite happy that I did. And that Sohan never missed a turn for pushing me. I'm nothing short of amazed about how we managed to gather a community of people who dare to think and to go beyond well-trodden paths, enjoying to engage in respectful discourse in order to explore potential new directions for building new endeavors. This cannot be said for many other efforts or communities I've been involved in. And your experience might be not that dissimilar. To me, NoRCEL provides a strong counterpoint to streamlined science that tends to be stuck in dogmata. On understanding life, we also see a systemic failure of thinking in so-called disciplines, which are nothing but a social construct, defining yourself by erecting fences, which we are more than others suited to overcome. We aim to be a network that is driven by the creativity of our members, providing support for their efforts. We've also seen NoRCEL being attractive to younger researchers and PhD students, particularly given that we follow the power of arguments and not the power of authority or hierarchy. This gives the network a future. Moreover, we're not yet another of these so-called international efforts that do not reach beyond Western Europe or North America. But we actively pursue involvement from other parts of the world, which are actually full of exactly those original thinkers who create the unique value for NoRCEL. While NoRCEL is continue to set to grow, I don't think that our main aim should be to become one of the largest groups, but that we should continue to be one of the finest. Now let me turn to a specific tool for further developing our network and advancing science at the same time, which is the NoRCEL Gap Map. Now its aim is nicely illustrated by the famous cartoon drawn by Sidney Harris, which you see on the slide. Our progress of understanding hinges on the point right in the middle. We need to be specific about our gaps of knowledge in order to advance our understanding rather than hoping for a miracle to occur. Everything else that we know doesn't give us a sufficient chain of evidence if there's one link missing. We need a concrete description of what we don't know. And we need to be clear and honest about it, not sweeping anything under the carpet. Now, this is what I call an unreview, given that a review paper usually tries to present what we know. And we're pretty much turning around that approach. So here comes the NoRCEL Gap Map, an unreview of universal biology, which aims to be a community effort to which you're all invited to contribute. And this will start in a few minutes. As evolving document, the NoRCEL Gap Map will also serve as a valuable instrument for fostering the NoRCEL community itself by revealing shared interests and connections across a wide range of diverse expertise, while encouraging thinking beyond disciplinary confines. Now, we readily accept that physics and chemistry should follow universal principles, but is life a fluke or a direct consequence of such principles as well? On considering universal biology, the term universal might take one or more of at least 3 different meanings. Universal, as in described by a few fundamental and general principles. Universal, as in applying to more than a single instance. Or universal, as in present throughout the universe. So here comes a job for you. And in the chat window, you can find a link to a web form that permits you to take part in the first brainstorming phase. So that's my nudge to the production team to post that link. What would you consider a critical gap of knowledge or an issue that we appear to be stuck on? Please provide a concrete description so that it can serve as a guide for structured discussion. For example, we don't know how life formed would be too general, given that it does not permit to localize our gap of knowledge. Don't we understand what life is? Don't we know what it is made of? Or we're just missing a small detail in the process? So please try to be specific and don't shy away from providing detail if this clarifies the point that you want to make, or briefly discuss what needs to be sorted in order to be able to make progress. Both statements and questions are welcome. And for your guidance, the web form, in fact, includes a summary of what I just said. If there are various gaps that spring to your mind, please feel free to submit multiple forms. Don't squeeze everything into one, but please indicate which of these was your first thought. In fact, I submitted 5 points yesterday. So I will now give you slightly short of 15 minutes until the end of this talk slot, until 10 minutes past 2 UTC, to submit some of your ideas. But feel free to come back at any time to add further input. It is valuable both to capture initial thoughts as well as deeper reflection that requires more time. It is envisaged all contributors become authors of the rising document, unless they decide to opt out, and I will discuss next steps on Wednesday, hopefully having received lots of input by then. And while you're now filling the form, I would be happy to take any questions.